What's the good word, y'all? Welcome to the New York Jets Syndicate channel. It's your boy DKB here. So we had a pretty interesting bit of news that dropped in terms of support for the New York Jets this season from an arch rival in the Patriots. Not them specifically, but there's a beat writer by the name of Ben Volin from the Boston Globe that reports on the New England Patriots. And he actually puts his 2 cents in, thinking that the New York Jets can not only topple the Bills to win the AFC East division, but that we have a pretty strong shot overall. So let's dive into some of the comments that he actually had to say. He starts off by mentioning, I'm putting the Jets ahead of the Bills. I'm buying the hype. They, being the Jets, just literally had the worst passer rating, the worst team passer rating in the NFL last season. They had the worst quarterback play. They don't need top 5 quarterback play. They just need okay quarterback play. And that will be a very good team with a lot of young talent. So for all of those that are kind of feeling like we didn't necessarily nail the 2023 NFL draft, or that the free agent that we brought in, not named Aaron Rodgers, didn't necessarily shift the needle, this is someone that's reported within this division for a long time, that has seen where the New York Jets are coming from. He's seen his own team in the Patriots dominate for a while. He's seen the Bills and Dolphins in the cellar, the AFC East. And he believes in not only all of the surrounding pieces, both offensively and defensively, that we've been able to assemble, but inserting a top 5 quarterback, which is basically a luxury on a team that's built the way this team is, we should far and away exceed a lot of these expectations. I think most of the sports books have the over and under for our wins this season being 8.5, if I'm remembering correctly. So this goes a long way. I definitely have a lot of faith in the team, but I think this perspective of hearing it from some of the interdivisional opponents that are going to be covering the teams, it says a lot about what Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas have been able to do here. So when we think about what he's mentioned with the worst quarterback play and all that stuff, we're well aware of that. To put some of these numbers in context, though, when it comes to the Jets quarterbacks, and we know we had to run through 4 of them, they combined for a passer rating of 75 last season, which is last 32 of 32 teams. We also had a 56.9 completion percentage, which again ranked dead last. So 2 of the key metrics you're going to go out there and take a look at if you're just reading through a stat sheet. It's not even worth mentioning the QBR, because that would definitely be dead last as well. He goes on to say, though, I really do think that one player, specifically a quarterback, makes a difference. I know that Rodgers wasn't the same last year, but I just think that there's a lot going on. He probably was pretty ticked off at his management. I just think Rodgers is going to be refreshed and invested in his team this year with something to prove. So there's this storyline out there that not only was there a bad ending, probably due to a lot of negligence on the Green Bay side, Aaron Rodgers' Hall of Fame thoughts about what they can do to help get this team back to the Super Bowl kind of falling on deaf ears. And then with the New York Jets, this sense of revival, you see him going out, he's enjoying concerts, he's bringing his teammates, out to, Miami Heat games and playoffs and all of these different kind of things. We hear Randall Cobb saying that he feels reinvigorated. And so you get excited about this idea that not only does Aaron Rodgers want to go out there and prove once again, which, by the way, this was kind of the same mentality we got before he had his back-to-back MVP season. So not only are you getting somebody that kind of feels reinvigorated, but you're having this guy that feels like he needs to go out there and prove something, who, outside of the lack of Super Bowl wins, is going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks in history. So you got to be excited about that kind of perspective, right? Some of the lasting thoughts that he had: the Jets were really feisty last year. The defense is really young and fast and aggressive. Their offense, they have some good playmakers, all these high draft picks over the years. So it's a fact, kind of a last minute shot there. Obviously, the New York Jets more often than not have been picking in the first half of the 16 picks in the NFL draft. We hope that this selection we had with the 15th, which originally was 13, will be the highest that we need to pick from this point here on out if we can continue these winning ways, which we expect with Aaron Rodgers coming into the building. But you still have to nail the draft pick. So offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. You hope that you have a solid piece once again in Michael Carter that you have some belief in. You find a 5th-round gem in Michael Carter the second. You hope that you get a return on investment from a guy like Mekhi Becton. Maybe Bryce Hall can at least provide some juice again this season if he finds a way back into a significant part of the cornerback rotation. There's a lot to be excited about overall. So, especially Elijah Vera Tucker, who we talked about as being a breakout candidate at the guard position. So, final thoughts from Ben Volin. As long as Rodgers avoids the mistakes, I really like the Jets this year. So I'm buying the hype on them, and I really think this is going to be what ultimately either demonstrates the success we have this season or ends up crucifying us. Execution and the fact that we don't want to go out there and make mistakes and have a ton of turnovers. It sounds simple, obviously, but those are going to be the two biggest key factors for this New York Jets. And if anything, I think Aaron Rodgers, guys like Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard that are coming in, they feel that same sense of duty with this particular team. Hearing Garrett Wilson and how they've been prepping a lot of the OTA standouts, I think that's going to be a huge make or break for this year with how everybody is focusing in already on OTAs. You hear about how the defensive line is out there already hitting bags. They're going out there and doing heavy work very, very early into the offseason. So you have to be excited about it. But nonetheless, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Ben Volin and his opinions about this Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets team that, according to him, will topple the AFC Bills for the AFC East Division crown. And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.